Not that long ago, I was reading my favorite book, Percy Jackson and the Olympians, The Lion Thief by Rick Riordan. And I was reading the part where Percy gets a very special weapon. I've read this book dozens of times, and I never noticed the connection to the phrase, the pen is mightier than the sword, because Percy's special weapon is a pen that literally turns into a sword. And I thought that was kind of funny how it connected. And then the next day in my history class, we were having a debate where someone used the phrase, actions speak louder than words, as their evidence. And this really intrigued me because I never thought that the two phrases had anything similar. But they do. They technically state the same thing. They're talking about our words and our actions, but they're opposing each other. And what I wanted to answer was which one is more powerful, which one hurts more, and which is more true. But mainly just which one is more powerful. So I used historical figures and I divided them into two sections, words and actions. My first figure was Abraham Lincoln. He had many things backing him up, such as the Gettysburg Address and the House divided for the word side. He was also present during the Civil War, so that puts him on the action side. But what really sets him apart from most is his Emancipation Proclamation, which freed slaves across the Union and most of the Confederacy, and it still stands today as a sign of injustice and social equality. So I'm going to put them all into an overall T-chart, but I can't use Abraham Lincoln because he's equal on both sides. So my next figure was Woodrow Wilson, president during World War I. Again, you'll notice that it is exactly equal on both sides, because for the words, he has the 19th Amendment giving women the right to vote, and he also has his 14 points, which is a guideline for the aftermath of World War I. Then actions, again, he has simply being president, and he also has creating the modern UN, which was in the 14 points, which outlined that in the last point, there would be a League of Nations created. So we cannot use him in our overall T-chart. My last historical figure was Martin Luther King Jr. Well, this will follow a similar pattern. He was a nonviolent equal rights activist with things such as the Montgomery bus boycott following the Rosa Parks case, and he has countless marches and speeches, and his most famous speech being I Have a Dream. We cannot use them. So none of our historical figures will go on our overall T-chart. So my next decision was to go at a more media perspective. So of course I used Justin Bieber. Now, in case you don't follow the media, you probably won't know that he most recently got arrested for DUI, drag racing, and egged his neighbor's house. He's considered a screw-up, and really we only need to explore the word side. His actions are speaking loud enough, so he will go on our action side. My next figure was Macklemore and Ryan Lewis, the famous rap duo, most famous for their song Same Love, which supports gay rights. And in the media, they consistently talk about how gay rights should be given to all, not just in their song. So they would go on the side of words. And to talk a little bit about which one hurts more, I like to say about how I did explore this, but what I found most interesting findings is that the three types of abuse are verbal, physical, and sexual. But there's no significant case of simply verbal abuse, because it tend to go with the physical or the sexual abuse. So if which one hurts more, I cannot answer that because they are both equally hurtful. So far I've answered two of my questions. Which one is true? So far, it seems to be that they are both true. Which one hurts more? They both seem to hurt the most. So to answer my overall question, which one is more powerful, I'm going to use some other figures. One of the figures is Lily Allen, a singer most famous for her song Hard Out Here. And in the song, it has lyrics like, you should probably lose some weight because we can't see your bones. You should probably fix your face or you'll end up on your own. So it's a very pro-feminist song, but the video is not at all. In the video, it portrays women as sex figures almost, with having them do demeaning dances. So we can't use her. So far, we have at least 4 people who we cannot use. Then I am going to do a little different perspective. I did more on who has the most influence, so I used Martin Luther King Jr. again. And what I noticed is that his most effect that he had on us was his speech, I Have a Dream, and which is still highly praised today. So actually, we can categorize him. So I'm going to be looking at a few more of these to see if I can categorize them better. And I can categorize him, and he would go on the word side for his speech, I Have a Dream, and how it's still highly praised today. Then I'm going to use Tina Fey and Amy Poehler, who are two female comedians, and they have pretty much led the way for all female comedians by starring on SNL, starring on their own TV shows, writing for those TV shows, and starring in them. They would go on the side of acting just because, well, look how full it is. And then I again used Woodrow Wilson, and mostly focusing on this 14 point, which created the modern UN, which still is alive today and has most, if not all, countries in it. So this brings me to my final T-chart, which you will see is exactly equal. And it answers my question as well. It answers that we cannot place everyone equally because we cannot determine it. Even though we would love to place people equally, our words and our actions are equal to each other. Our words hurt, and all our words and actions are true. It just depends on how we use them. Thank you.